This is me trading right now. Trading should be boring. It should be easy. It should be something you do every day and not get emotional about. And that's how you make money, because I just made $1,200. That's great, but it should be boring. It's about the process. So we'll be talking about my trade recap today and the mindset that you should have to be a profitable trader. So going on to the 15-minute time frame, at market open, right, we had a liquidity sweep on these previous day highs. Not open, but it were after market previous day. But we still had a sweep on the highs, so I was looking for target lowers at this low and then potentially these lows and potentially these lows. But I didn't mark out this one yet because I was waiting for it to get here before I marked that out. So playing it safe, but marking out these highs because we did see a liquidity sweep. So with all that being said, because of the liquidity sweep, I was bearish on the day looking for shorts. So looking for shorts, I could have taken this, but it's very early into market open. That was 5 minutes into it. I don't like taking trades that early. So I was waiting, and as you can see, it swept eventually with no short opportunities. And then we wanted to see price close below. No, it needed to close below this low within three. Sorry, let me turn off the magnet. Within 3 candles, and obviously it didn't, so we didn't take a short there. So then again, we were waiting for short opportunities still. And right here, 1 minute created a fair value gap to the downside. And then within that fair value gap, there was a manipulation from these highs. We manipulated those highs, and then we wanted to see a displacement to the downside, lower below these 2 candles, within 3 candles, and that's exactly what happened. So we entered there right after the candle closed, so the candle after that. Price was about here when I entered, stops at the manipulation high, including the fair value gap, and just targeting the relative lows, not the lows we put in today, but the lows from the market earlier, this 15-minute low. And I also do want to point out that if you go on to the 1 hour, because of all of these green candles, I figured there might be a fair value gap. So I went on to the 1 hour, and there was a 1 hour fair value gap below those lows, actually. So you have these candle lows and then a fair value gap. So I didn't want to see anything lower or take profit to be lower, anything lower than that, because I feel like it would have been a kind of a reach. But also for me, once I get into this zone of the 1 hour fair value gap and the low, not like a crazy liquidity zone low, but it's kind of just a zone of uncertainty. So when that happens, that's when I usually try to get out of the market. And that's where I set my take profit right before that. So that's what we did here. And obviously, as you can see, we had a little bit of drawdown, but then eventually I did not close out early. I really wanted to because I thought it was just going to go hit stop loss, but I'm really glad I didn't because it reversed right as I was about to close out for a 1 to 1.6 risk to reward ratio, hitting perfect take profit. And the second after that, it pumps up. No idea what market is doing right now. It's going crazy. So I'm glad I got out of that. And the reason I'm not trading until 11:30 like I usually do is because we are in such an uncertainty zone. Like, it could have gone lower to target these liquidity zones, but market pumped. So it could have been taking out this as a manipulation to go lower, or it could be pumping to go higher to these highs up here. Like, I really don't know. Like, yeah, I could have been bullish because of that 1 hour fair value gap and the liquidity sweep. But again, it's just like I was bearish on the day and we got shorts. So I'll just take profit, not risk anything more, because it's a little bit of an uncertainty. If I'm not like 100% sure after a win for the day, then I'll just get off. So that's the way I work. But when I was in this trade, I was bored, right? So what I mean by that is you should be detaching yourself and your self-worth from the P&Ls and the results. It's about the process. So when you're in the trade, you should literally, like I was literally scrolling through TikTok on my phone. I was bored. And I don't care whether it hits stop loss or take profit, because I know down the road, eventually it's going to pass my evaluation account. It's going to give me a payout, whatever it is. I know down the line that's going to happen. It's just about when. So I trust in God's plan. I don't have anxiety. I just know that it's not about if it happens, it's about when, which helps a lot with me. So that's the mindset that I should have. And today, a $1,200 win, that's an average day, nothing crazy. I did have not a true 1% risk, as you can see, because it was a 1 to 1.6. I just had one mini going on, and this is the candle that I executed on. My executions are here, so you can see this. I actually took the trade. It is connected to my Tradeify account right now, because I'm trading on both Tradeify and Take Profit Trader, trying to get both at the same time. Another thing I forgot to mention is you see NQ took out these highs, right? The pre-market highs. We go over to ES and it did not. So there's a massive, massive bearish SMT. So even more confirmation for short. Sorry I didn't add that earlier. I know it's a little late, but big bearish SMT. So even more confirmation to go lower for me. But yeah, like your mindset going into the day should be, it's not about whether it's a win or a loss. It's about the process and did you make a good execution? And if you didn't make a good execution and you still got a win, you should not be happy about that. Literally a list that I have on my other screen here that I remind myself every single day is if you feel anxious, then it's a forced trade, which I feel like would help a lot of people. Because that feeling of, oh, you're in a trade, is it going to hit stop loss or take profit? Like you don't know. That anxiety mid-trade, it means close out of it ASAP, de-risk. You shouldn't be taking a trade if that's how you feel, because then it's forced, or then you're risking too much, whatever it is. It's not good, and you should feel detached from the trade. It doesn't matter. So that's one thing that I have. And disciplined trading should be boring. I already said that. Sorry, I'm just reading off my wrist. Wow, I can't talk. I'm reading off my list on the right here that I have for myself when I was in a little bit of a drawdown, just to remind myself what really it should look like. But yes, I am happy about the $1,200 win. But I also had a lot of losses earlier this month. So it's just depleting that back to break even. So it's like, yes, I should be super happy that it's another win. Let's go. But again, you have to detach yourself, and detaching myself and not really caring about it is what really helps me as a trader. So if I get super happy, obsessed over a win, that's where I get emotional on my future trades. Plus, again, it's just depleting past losses. So it's not anything crazy. It's not like I'm going into profit now. I'm just getting back what I had. So overall with the day, great trade. Yes, it wasn't like go into a profit right away and I get a take profit in 2 seconds. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Had a little bit of drawdown. But I am very happy about how I stayed disciplined with the not closing out early, because that is something I would have done a couple weeks ago, is close out early once I saw price get into this zone about halfway to take or stop loss, and I would have closed out, and then it would have hit full TP. So let it hit stop loss or take profit. Don't touch it no matter what. Do not touch it. It doesn't matter. That's the mindset that you should have going into every day. Plus, one more thing on the mindset. Again, today, the first thing I think of when I wake up is talking to God and trusting in God's plan and turning to God to give me peace and discipline for the day, for trading and helping me win money and paying for college. I'm literally talking to God in the morning. The first second I wake up, that's the first thing I think of, is just going to him for the peace, going to him with the discipline, because he is what gives it to me. He is what helps me. And he should be what all of you guys rely on too, and what help you. So you can't do this alone. Rely on God. That was one more thing that I wanted to add, because it seems like every time I have that mindset in the morning and that's what I think of and that's who I talk to first, it is always the best days. I always stay disciplined. Everything goes well. You can't complain about it. So, that's what I had going on. But with me talking about God, we will go into the verse of the day. And today's verse of the day is Galatians 5:16. And Galatians 5:16 says, "So I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh." So walk with the Spirit, and you won't have the desires of the flesh. So you won't have the wants of the world of drinking or partying, whatever it is. As a college student, that's what I see a lot. So that's the examples that I come up with. But if you walk with the Spirit, because walk with Jesus is not a sprint, it's a walk. You're holding hands. He's guiding you. Your desire to sin should be no more. You shouldn't have a desire to sin anymore when you're walking with God, because if you truly love God, you should be wanting to obey him, and obeying him is not sinning. So if you walk with the Spirit, truly love God, your desire to sin shouldn't be there anymore. So if you're really struggling with sin and whatever it is, just a bunch of struggles going on, just focus on God, and eventually over time that will be taken away. And a lot of people struggle with lust. If you strictly focus on God and your eyes are on God strictly, your desires for lust should eventually fade, because you are turning to him with your struggles and your sin, because you're turning to him with all of your anxiety, whatever it is. But that's the mindset that you should have today. Sorry, my computer just lagged out. The screen recording just stopped randomly. So I don't know what that was about. But that is the mindset that you should have going into trading with God, with your life. So I hope you learned a lot from that today. But again, detach yourself from the P&L, detach yourself from what actually happened, and focus on the process and the execution. That is the biggest thing that you can do to become a profitable trader. And if it helps to get the risk down and see a lot of money fluctuate, go to $1 million account balance at the start and watch $10,000 or $20,000 fluctuate, and learn to detach yourself from that money and not care about it. Because if you go to an evaluation account that's $50K or $100K and you see that money fluctuate, you're going to be used to it and it doesn't matter. So that's what I did to be able to detach myself from the results and the money, and just focus on the win rate and the process overall in the long run, in the month, in the quarterly, not the week, not the day. It doesn't matter with that. So just make sure to have that mindset going into trading. But it's pretty much all I got for you guys. Just one easy setup for today, nothing crazy. No trade yesterday, I will say that. So no trade recap, obviously. But going into the week with the mindset of relying on God for discipline and everything that you need in trading, because I cannot do this on my own.